This particular fruit defies conventional existence. Its exterior is so delicate it weeps when handled. It flourishes in the depths of winter, a time when other arboreal life slumbers, enduring temperatures so frigid they could solidify mercury. For numerous decades, the superior genetic strains of this plant remained inaccessible, concealed behind the Iron Curtain. They were subjected to clandestine research at horticultural outposts in Siberia, intended as a sustenance solution for a populace facing starvation. While American agriculturists focused on cultivating apples for visual appeal on market stalls, Soviet scientists were dedicated to developing a berry capable of functioning as an internal biological warmer for the human body. Its appearance resembles a blueberry contorted in a funhouse mirror, and its flavor evokes a raspberry steeped in wine. Moreover, it contains a unique compound that renders the so-called superfoods found in your local grocery store seemingly akin to mere sugar water. Yet it is highly probable you have never encountered it, nor savored its taste. This is the honeyberry, also known by its scientific name, Lonicera cerulea, a veritable outcast of the fruit kingdom. Welcome to Ancestral Yields. If you are prepared to cease consuming what is marketed to you and commence cultivating what has been deliberately concealed, please engage the like button and subscribe. Let us delve deeper. To fully grasp why this plant represents a biological wonder, we must examine its internal workings. The honeyberry belongs to the honeysuckle family, a classification that often serves as a warning, as many honeysuckles are poisonous. However, this is the anomalous blue honeysuckle, an evolutionary marvel meticulously designed to withstand the regenerous conditions of the boreal forest. Whereas a commercial peach or cherry blossom will succumb to frost and perish if temperatures drop below 28 degrees Fahrenheit, the exposed blossom of a honeyberry can gracefully endure 19 degrees Fahrenheit without adverse effects. The woody structure itself can survive minus 53 degrees Fahrenheit. It is, in essence, the fortified tank of the fruit world. Yet its true marvel lies in its chemical composition. We have been misled into believing the blueberry reigns supreme in antioxidant content. Let us dissect this fallacy. Observe the internal structure of a commercially cultivated blueberry. What do you perceive? A pigmented exterior, but the flesh within is a pale, translucent green or white. Its beneficial properties are superficial. Now, examine a honeyberry. Its flesh is an intense, deep violet crimson, extending throughout its entirety, thoroughly saturated. This vibrant hue is attributed to anthocyanins, specifically a highly potent compound termed cyanidin-3-glucoside, abbreviated as C3G. This is the ultimate antioxidant. Clinical investigations have demonstrated that C3G is 3.5 times more effective than the analogous compounds found in vitamin E. It does not merely neutralize free radicals, it actively regulates inflammation at a cellular level. To quantify this, let us consider the precise figures. According to spectrographic analyses conducted by the University of Saskatchewan and Dalhousie University, a typical blueberry contains approximately 160 to 200 milligrams of anthocyanins per 100 grams. The honeyberry, however, registers between 400 and 1,500 milligrams per 100 grams, depending on the specific cultivar. This represents an escalation of up to 750%. Consider vitamin C. An orange provides roughly 53 milligrams per 100 grams. The honeyberry delivers up to 186 milligrams per 100 grams. This signifies that a modest portion, approximately half a cup, offers more vitamin C than 3 oranges, without the attendant insulin surge associated with fructose. We are discussing a superfruit that necessitates no chemical additives for its cultivation. The honeyberry is not a recent discovery. It is simply novel to our contemporary understanding. For centuries, the Ainu people, the indigenous inhabitants of Hokkaido, Japan, held this plant in high esteem, referring to it as huskap, a name signifying the berry of prolonged life and abundant blessings. To the Ainu, it was more than just a dietary supplement. It was the lotus of the north, a sacred drat that bestowed vitality in a stark, frozen environment. While the Ainu recognized its spiritual significance, the Soviet Union perceived its strategic importance. Throughout the 20th century, Soviet horticulturists were profoundly preoccupied with food security. They sought crops that could yield vitamin C in territories where citrus trees would succumb instantly to frost. Russian scientists meticulously surveyed the Kamchatka Peninsula, gathering wild genetic samples of Lonicera caerulea. For many years, the development of this berry was conducted in secrecy within horticultural facilities concealed behind the Iron Curtain, effectively transforming it into a covert berry. It was not until the dissolution of the Soviet Union that these genetic resources gradually made their way westward. It was not until the late 1990s that Dr. Bob Boers at the University of Saskatchewan embarked on the formidable undertaking of hybridizing the astringent, frost-resistant Russian varieties with the sweet, delicate Japanese strains. The outcome was the contemporary honeyberry, a fruit possessing the resilience of a Soviet military vehicle and a flavor profile reminiscent of a Japanese delicacy. To appreciate the honeyberry's potential, we must contrast it with its rival, the blueberry. Within the realm of horticulture, the blueberry is notoriously demanding. It requires extensive care and is famously capricious in its needs. Blueberries evolved in marshy environments, necessitating highly acidic soil with a pH range of 4.5 to 5.5. If your location features neutral soil, where the pH is 7, cultivating blueberries becomes a formidable challenge. Planting a blueberry in standard garden soil prevents it from absorbing iron, leading to leaf yellowing, a condition known as chlorosis, and ultimately, the plant's slow demise from malnutrition. To sustain it, one must procure bags of peat moss, apply elemental sulfur annually, and perpetually contend with the inherent chemistry of your land. The honeyberry stands in stark opposition to this finicky nature. It thrives across a broad pH spectrum, from 5.0 to 8.0. It flourishes in dense clay that would asphyxiate a blueberry. It grows in silty soil and even in sandy terrain. It requires no sulfur and no special attention. It adapts to the land as it is. However, there exists a more somber rationale behind the blueberry's commercial triumph. The agricultural industry favored it due to its thick, waxy outer layer, a cuticle that enables mechanical harvesting, allowing blueberries to be collected in bulk, tumbled into containers, and transported without rupturing. The honeyberry embodies a diametrically opposed philosophy. Its skin is virtually imperceptible, meltingly tender, akin to a ripe raspberry, but even more fragile. If you were to fill a deep crate with honeyberries and transport it via semi-trailer, the berries at the bottom would be crushed by the sheer weight of those above. What arrives at the distribution center would not be fruit, but rather juice. Furthermore, the berry detaches from its stem with what botanists refer to as a wet scar. When picking a blueberry, the resulting wound seals almost instantaneously. With a honeyberry, the top of the fruit is often exposed, allowing its precious juice to escape. This characteristic renders it a significant impediment to the industrial supply chain. A fruit with a shelf life of merely 3 days, which also stains its packaging, is deemed commercially unviable, irrespective of its 7-fold antioxidant advantage over its competitor. This failure of the supply chain presents your opportunity. Because the industry is incapable of capitalizing on the honeyberry, the sole avenue through which you can experience this life-giving berry is by cultivating it yourself. And fortunately, it is arguably the most uncomplicated fruit-bearing plant you will ever own. However, let us address safety first. Do not venture into the wilderness and begin consuming unspecified honeysuckles. The majority of wild honeysuckles, particularly those with red or orange berries, are toxic. You must specifically seek out Lonicera caerulea or Lonicera villosa. Do not attempt to forage for these unless you are an expert. The most secure and effective approach is to procure certified cultivars from a reputable nursery. The honeyberry is a northern specimen, flourishing in United States Department of Agriculture Zones 2 through 7. It can tolerate Zone 8 if provided with afternoon shade and ample moisture, but it abhors the scorching heat of the far southern regions. It necessitates what botanists term chill hours, specifically between 1,000 and 1,200 hours, within the temperature range of 32 degrees Fahrenheit to 45 degrees Fahrenheit, to successfully develop fruit. During winter, these plants become deciduous, shedding their leaves and entering a state of dormancy. For a period, they resemble lifeless twigs. Do not be alarmed. This dormancy is their inherent strength, enabling them to awaken in March and withstand the frosts that prove fatal to other species. Crucially, do not purchase seeds. Honeyberries do not breed true from seed. If you acquire a packet of seeds online, you will likely end up with a wild, acrid shrub that takes 5 years to bear fruit. You must obtain dormant plants or plugs to guarantee the desirable genetic traits. Seek out specialized nurseries rather than your local hardware store. Look for cultivars such as Aurora, Borealis, Indigo Gem, or The Beast. Consider vendors like Honeyberry USA or One Green World, as they offer the prime University of Saskatchewan varieties. Stark Brothers and proven winners also carry lines like Yesberry, which are excellent for home gardeners. Next, you must adhere to the pairing principle. Honeyberries are not self-pollinating. You are required to plant at least 2 distinct varieties that bloom concurrently to facilitate cross-pollination. If you select Aurora, pair it with Borealis or Indigo Gem. If you choose the Beast, pair it with the Beauty. Without a suitable companion, you will observe blossoms but no fruit. Plant honeyberries in the ground during the early spring or late autumn. Apply a generous layer of mulch to maintain cool root temperatures, and then allow them to grow. Deer typically bypass them due to the fuzzy texture of their leaves. Pests rarely trouble them, as the fruit ripens in late May or early June, before most insects have even become active. A healthy honeyberry bush can persist for 50 years. And as for the taste, envision a flavor that perfectly harmonizes the essences of a blueberry, a raspberry, and a black currant, possessing a remarkable complexity. The newer cultivars exhibit Brix levels, a measure of sugar content reaching 15 to 18. For perspective, a strawberry typically averages 10. By cultivating honeyberries, you are effectively bridging the hunger gap. While your neighbors are purchasing expensive, artificially whitened strawberries shipped from distant regions, you will be strolling into your own backyard, filling buckets with the deep purple lotus of the north. The commercial industry will not offer it to you because they cannot transport it. They cannot exert control over it. And this, in turn, makes it the ultimate fruit of independence. If you are prepared to plant the crop that defies the very constraints of winter, kindly press the like button and subscribe to Ancestral Yields. We are unearthing